Hi everyone! Today I thought I'd just tell you about my MRI results. For those of you that don't know, I had an MRI about a month ago. I made a video about it, so I'll link it in the description if you want to see it. But basically, my neurologist who I see for my migraines recommended that I have an MRI just because I have a problem with my eye that has never been investigated. I've had it since I was born. It's never really caused me any issues, but he said, let's just get it investigated anyway with an MRI, just in case it has something to do with your headaches, but I suspect it doesn't. So anyway, I had the MRI done and I heard nothing for a long time, and I thought, surely no news is good news, right? They haven't called me up and said that this is wrong or that's wrong, so surely no news is good news. So I got a letter a couple of days ago, so it was about a month after I'd actually had the MRI done. So I got this letter, I opened it, and I was expecting it to just say, oh yeah, everything came back clear. We're not exactly sure why your eye does what it does, but it's got nothing to do with your headaches and everything's come back clear. So that's what I was expecting. But I opened the letter, read it, and my mum was in the room at the time. I read it, I was just telling her, oh yeah, it says we found nothing to do with the brain itself, the brain itself is okay. But we have found a pineal cyst. Now, I don't know about you, but I had never heard of this before. Of course, the first thing you're going to start doing is panicking. And the thing was as well, he hadn't put any more information on this letter. All he said was that he'd found a pineal cyst and he was going to review the scan to see if any further scans were required. So of course, when something like that happens and you've never heard of it before, of course the first thing you're going to want to do is Google it. And I know they always say, don't they, never to Google things because you're always going to find the worst case scenario and start panicking yourself. So I tried to find the best source of information I could. I went on the NHS website and I was just looking at pineal cysts and basically what they were, because I didn't have a clue. And for those of you that don't know, it's basically there's a pineal gland in the brain, and it's basically right in the centre, as deep as it can get. And I have a cyst on that gland basically in my brain. So yeah, I was like, okay, so that's what it is. Now what? Because I don't know what size it is. I don't know if it's growing. I don't know if it needs any further treatment. I don't know. I'm literally completely in the dark with it. I don't know any more information than that. So I was looking at how it was treated, if it needed treatment at all. Obviously, I don't want to start jumping to conclusions because I haven't been told anything for definite what's going to happen to me. But I did really want to still look into it because I think that not knowing at all would make me worry even more. So finding at least something might put my mind at ease. Luckily, one of the first things I read is that they are benign cysts, which means they are not cancerous, which literally that already in itself put my mind at ease a little bit. Because when you hear you've got an extra thing in your brain that shouldn't be there, you obviously start worrying about things like, is it cancer? That was one of the first things that came to my mind. I also found that it doesn't really need treatment unless you are having symptoms because of it and unless it's growing. Now, like I said, I don't know if mine's growing. This is the first brain scan I've ever had. I also don't know what size it is. On the letter, he never explained to me and said what size this cyst was. So I don't really know if I'm going to be needing treatment. And also, it said you only need treatment if you're having symptoms because of it. Now, I am having some symptoms, but I don't know if it's because of this cyst. And on the letter, my neurologist wrote that he doesn't think the headaches have anything to do with it, but then I'm curious why I'm still getting these headaches and why medications aren't working and why they don't have anything to do with this cyst. It makes sense to me. I know I'm not a doctor. Apparently as well, out of all the cases that the world has seen of these cysts, most of the time they are asymptomatic and people can just leave them and they don't grow and they just kind of stay where they are. Apparently it is more common in girls as well. I think about 1 to 5% of the population have these cysts. And for some reason it's more common in girls around the age of 20 to 30, so I'm a bit younger than that, but yeah, I don't know. And one of the other things I found, thankfully, is that it is a cyst and not a tumour. The difference is that cysts are filled with things like air and like fluids, whereas tumours are basically masses of tissue. Both can be cancerous depending on, you know, where they are in the body, what caused them. But like I said, it is very extremely likely that this is benign, not cancerous. If I had some more scans and it seemed to be growing or it seemed to be causing me more symptoms, then I think the main treatments from what I read online are things like, well, if it needs to be, you know, shrunk, if it needs shrinking, then I think they can do some sort of chemotherapy, radiotherapy sort of thing to shrink it. Or if it's better just being removed, then they will do brain surgery to remove it. But the only issue with both these things is that it is in the this cyst is in the deepest part of the brain. So doesn't sound too good, does it? I mean, like I said, I'm not certain in any of this I am saying today in this video. All I know for sure is that I do have one of these cysts. I don't know anything else from what I've said because that letter that the neurologist gave me said virtually nothing. So I think the plan from here is to see if I hear back from the neurologist in the next couple of weeks. If not, I think I'm going to ring just to see what his plan is. I think on the letter he said he was just going to check the scan again, see if any further scans are required, and then go from there pretty much, I guess. It's likely that I will need more scans to kind of check its growth, and I am definitely going to try and get my neurologist to investigate why the headaches aren't connected to this cyst, because that's what he seems to think. And another thing I read online as well is nausea, and that's one of the symptoms, and I do quite often feel quite sick, and again, it could have nothing to do with it, but it might, and that's the thing. If it might have something to do with it, then I want to make sure for definite whether it does or not. But it's just a waiting game, I guess. I really don't know much more than what I've told you. Most of what I've told you is things I've researched myself because I was given virtually no information about the cyst except for the fact that I have a cyst. So yeah. I have to say I was pretty shocked when I found out, especially because I didn't really know anything about it at that point. And I'm still quite nervous because everything I've researched, I can't be sure of until I know what size mine is, until I know if it's asymptomatic or not, and it's quite nerve-wracking not knowing. This situation isn't the best, you know, I just feel like I have one thing after the next. But I'm going to try and think of the positives, you know. I wasn't contacted urgently, which means it can't be anything too serious. It's benign, which means it's not cancerous, and yeah, it's scary. I don't really know what else to say, but I thought it was only fair that I updated you guys because I told you that I was having an MRI done. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. It was probably all over the place because I don't really know what I'm talking about. I really want some more information and I really want some more clarity about what is going wrong inside my head. Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep smiling, keep staying as positive as I can about it, and as soon as I know anything else, I will let you know. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye!